Becoming a multimillionaire is a lot easier when you have your shit together, okay? In this video, I'm going to explain to you how I actually got my shit together when I was younger and how that led to me becoming a multimillionaire whilst having the freedom to live my life whilst making a shit ton of money, okay? Now, you see, the chances are, right now, if you're not where you want to be in life, you probably don't have your shit together, okay? You've probably got bad habits, you've got bad belief systems, you probably haven't got any good relationships, you're probably a brokey or even worse, a workie. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact secrets that I've learned over my 10-year story in entrepreneurship, doing over 10 million in online sales to help you create your dream life. I'm going to help you solve it as someone who solved it for themselves. And I've definitely got my shit together, okay? I've got my dream life. I'm living in Bali. I've got dream relationships. I've got more money than I know what to do with. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm in a good spot. And in this video, we're going to break down the exact core components that you're going to need to learn to implement into your life and business so that you can also emulate the success that I've had. Cool. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, you see on the board, we're going to talk about getting our shit together, okay? And this is almost in order of priority. There's a sequence to everything, and we're going to go through every one of these squiggly signs on the board and explain exactly what everything is so that you can literally implement and copy and paste the exact same systems and mindset, belief systems that I've got, plug them straight into your own life and business. So hopefully you too can become a multimillionaire in the next few years. So let's start with number one. This mountain here is a sign for purpose, all right? Now, you're probably asking, Lou, why is purpose like the most important thing on this board? I'm going to tell you, okay? The reason purpose is number one here is because if you don't have a strong enough why, if you do not know what you're optimizing for, then the second it gets hard, you're just going to quit, okay? Because it's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, it's as trite as it sounds, everyone would do it and it wouldn't be worth it, okay? So I need you to really take time and obsess over your why, okay? Why are you doing what you're doing? You have to almost become and develop a completely different personal reality, and on the back of that, a new personality in order to be successful in life and in business, okay? It invokes everything that we're going to discuss on this whiteboard today, so that you can really know exactly what it is that you're optimizing for, and then you can reverse manufacture that into your life, into your business, into your habits, into your friendship groups, so you literally know exactly where you're going, you have a plan, and you know why you're going to do it, okay? Viktor Frankl has a good saying where it's the right why will overcome any how, and this is incredibly important for you to spend and obsess a huge amount of time over, because a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? It's not something you can just get up and rely on motivation for, okay? If you rely on motivation, the second that candle burns out, you're just going to stop. It's just going to burn out. You're going to lose all motivation, okay? This North Star goal, if you like, which is I want you to focus a lot of time and attention on, it needs to be, they call it in business a BHAG, which is a big, hairy, audacious goal. It almost needs to feel and seem unrealistic to be realistic. And I want you to spend and map this out, okay? And this can be on a 1, 3, 5-year plan. What makes all of the struggle, what makes all of the stress, what makes all of the uncertainty worth it for you? And this is something that's deeply personal. It doesn't necessarily have to be about yourself either. Most people get into it for money or for status, but once you achieve those things, you'll find 9 times out of 10, it was never about you. It was always about giving back. It's about setting up a better life for your family, for different relationships, or even when you kind of hit that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Look at a lot of the major millionaires and billionaires. They give a lot of it away. It's all kind of anchored around philanthropy. But in the beginning, it's very important for you to really obsess over exactly what it is you're optimizing for, because the journey is difficult, all right? So get super clear on whatever this bigger picture is for you. But when I say bigger picture, I mean get granular with it. Don't just like, oh yeah, I want to have $1 million in the account. That's like way too vague. Think about, okay, what is this actually going to allow me to do or allow me not to do, okay? Once you have your vision, if you're struggling with writing the vision, which some people do because they don't know where they're going in life and things just happen to them, a good hack is to turn this around and almost write an anti-vision, right? Because you see in life, when it comes to doing things or getting things done, we're either moving towards something or we're running away from something, right? We're doing the opposite. We're doing things so that we don't have a certain situation. And just to give you an example, this could be, I don't want to be in a 9 to 5 job, all right? I don't want to have negative 500 bucks in my account. Sometimes the things that you don't want work really well to propel you forward, okay? And if you don't know where you're going, it's okay to sometimes tap into that negative side, because sometimes it's more of a stronger driving force to move away from something as it is to pull towards something, okay? But either way, I would 100 million percent spend time on both your vision and also your anti-vision, okay? If you don't know where you're going, like nothing's worth it for you, okay? You know, life in business is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It never is, all right? And even if it is, or it seems easy, you're probably not going to have the same, it's not going to force you to grow, okay? So map it out, all right? And the easiest way to do this is if you think of any product or service from a 20,000 foot view. You have your current situation, and you have your desired situation. And within these, you can note out your life at the minute, and not just like your current set of circumstances, but get broad with it, okay? So remember, like everything you have right now is a direct reflection of all of your past decisions. The way you look, the way you feel, your bank account, how everyone thinks about you. This is all a sum total of all of your past decisions, okay? So be like brutally honest with yourself. Like, are you actually happy with where you are in life? I'm assuming if you're watching this video, there's certain elements that you're not happy with, okay? I'm assuming a lot of it's probably more around the money side of things, but as we'll find out later in the video, to become a millionaire or a multimillionaire, it requires that you are more than just dialed in on the money side of things. The money comes afterwards, okay? It's all about the personal traits and habits and belief systems that you need to install over time, ahead of time, that unlock the money side of things, okay? So super granular on your current situation. There's a good saying where it's all people are self-made, but only the rich will admit to it, okay? And that sometimes is quite triggering for some, because they don't like to think that that their current situation is their own fault. And one thing we'll touch on, the next thing, is all around discipline and taking like radical responsibility for where you are in life, because there's no one else to blame, okay? Until you stop playing the blame game, and until you switch the mindset from things happening to you and you now start happening to your life, you'll never move forward, okay? So current situation, get super granular with it, and then that's right, the opposite, okay? What are we optimizing for? That was the statement at the start of this, okay? When it comes to your purpose. Such an important question. Sounds so easy to say it, but just think about it. In life, in business, in health, in relationships, it doesn't always have to just be about money. Like what's the desired situation, okay? What's going to make all of the struggle and sacrifice worth it? This is what I want you to ruminate on. But like literally, take yourself away, okay? Take an afternoon off, or a weekend, or an evening, and just sit and be with yourself, and just really deeply think about where I am right now. How did I get here? Am I happy with it? And if not, you know it's an indication that it's time for something to change. But no one's going to change for you. It needs to come from you. Okay, in life, in business, it's not like when we're a child and we can rely on our parents. Yeah, you're adults now. Okay, you need to grab life by the horns. Okay, you're in the driving seat, and until you take accountability for that, things will continue to happen to you. Yeah, you'll end up somewhere you don't want to be, and you will call it fate. You will blame everything and anyone but yourself. Okay, so get clear on it. It starts with awareness. This is the awareness phase, and we're going to move into that desired situation. Okay, but again, sounds so basic, but this was the exact same path that I had to take when I first started, because believe it or not, I also started from zero. I was worse than zero. I think I was in about, I don't know, it was between 16 and 30k of debt, and not even good debt as well, consumer debt. And that was because I got sucked along with the system. I ended up somewhere I didn't want to be, and at one point you just can't take it anymore, because you forecast and you see, I remember sitting when I was working in corporate recruitment, and I would look at some of the guys who were a little older than me, and some maybe like 10 years, and every single one of them was major depressed. They were obese, they were losing their hair, they had grey hairs in their late 20s, and that was just like a window of like time that I could see, and that was probably going to be me as well, and that terrified the shit out of me. Okay, this is what I call this fuck this event, where I say, okay, I cannot continue to go on like this. Okay, something needs to change. But as we've discussed, no one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to take the risk. And entrepreneurship it's intrinsically all about risk and risk management. Okay. But you've seen where all of your decisions have got you to. Now you know it's time for a change. So obsess over this. Okay. Once you have your desired situation, don't just think about it. Write it down. Commit it to paper. Right. And revisit this every day, sometimes multiple times per day. Okay. It's time for you to start creating your own reality instead of this continual cycle of things and stuff just happening to you. Okay, so I don't want to belabor the point too much, but I just want you to get a very clear understanding that you have to be deliberate in life. Okay, you have to take control. You have to be in the driving seat, because if something or someone else is, you're always going to be dictated to. When you think about it, you're always selling something, okay? You're always going to do something, and it's like, are you going to make your own decisions, or are you going to be kind of someone else's bitch to get them to where they want to go? Okay, there's always that side of things, but it's up to you to make a decision, to make the change, and then take daily violent action towards that goal. Okay, cool. Right, second one, D stands for discipline. Jocko Willink has a good saying where discipline equals freedom. Very good book called Extreme Ownership. I definitely recommend you read that. Okay, in the discipline side of things, and this is basically what you do every single day over an extended period of time that move you further towards or away from your desired situation. Okay, and the discipline side of things is where so many people struggle and fall down, particularly so when they have all of this like motivation at the start, and then things start to slow down, or this passage of time, and you'll find now all it's about is just kind of that 1% progress every single day, even when it doesn't feel like you're making progress. And this is the thing, you cannot act on feelings. You have to be deliberate, and you have to do things and learn to do things irrespective of how you feel. This is what's going to separate you from 99.99% of the population. Okay, you identify almost as someone who is an achiever, who does the work. Okay, you're not a procrastinator, right? And we'll come on to kind of how like the best ways of setting up things so that you can kind of change this current reality. But the main thing, if you want to strip this down, basic fundamentals that I should not even have to tell you, but I'm telling you, all around these three things. Okay, first and foremost, diet, sleep, and there you go. You have to excuse my writing, but hopefully you can read it. So pretty much everything that, like your energy levels, your attention, it always kind of comes back down to these three things. Okay, and I have clients, I have students that I work with, some who pay me just to keep them accountable for getting the basics right. And these guys are running 6- and 7-figure businesses already, and even they struggle with it. All right, this is after they've kind of got everything else from a business side of things in check. And the thing that's holding them back is themselves. They can't do the work. All right. Now, these three core fundamentals, if we just go back to what I was saying about those guys when I was working in corporate, they had none of this dialed in. Okay, they were living literally on a diet of cigarettes, alcohol, and cortisol. Okay, this is why they're losing their hair. This is why they're miserable. This is why they're out of shape. This is why their wife and their dog hates them. Okay, this is why they hate themselves. They can't just get these fundamental things correct. Now, like, we're adults, okay, we're watching this, we have control over this, we're not dictated to. All right, but the thing is, we have so much freedom of choice and freedom of will that we end up just kind of getting sucked along with whatever's convenient. All right, again, it falls back into that thing. Sorry, Shopify sale coming through. It falls back into the concept of life happening to you, okay, instead of you happening to life. So, diet. If you want to have abundant energy, if you want better self-esteem, okay, if you like, there's so many things tied into diet, your health, longevity, your decision making, everything. Okay, your nutrition is incredibly important, and it's up to you to make right decisions. Okay, and again, ignore your natural bodily cravings for sugar. Okay, like you have to just be aware of that and to remember that no one's going to feed you. It's up to you to feed yourself. Okay, same when it comes to sleep. Very, very few people dial in and optimize their sleep routine. Okay, they live so much in stress. They've got so many things going on. Everything's pulling their attention. I don't know, you've got kids at home. It's very difficult for us as well sometimes to have an optimized sleep routine. So again, just be aware of it, because these are like the key points of leverage. If you want these, if you dial these things in, everything else becomes so much easier. Okay, same with the gym. All right, I think we talk a lot in today's day and age about particularly guys being depressed. Okay, like if there's one thing I would prescribe to every single guy, is just go to the gym, man. Yeah, I know you're tired, I know you're busy, I know it hurts, I know it's uncomfortable. I don't care. Okay, if you want to be a multimillionaire, you have to take care of yourself. And contrary to popular opinion, you can actually be very good at business and also be in great shape. It's all just a matter of priorities and how much you want it. Okay, so do not not go to the gym. Right, trust me. If you're working on a business, if you train, you have so much more energy. Like, and remember, like in business, it's all about your clarity of mind. It's all about you making good key decisions. All right. If you can set your diet up, if you can set your sleep up to make better decisions, this is going to 10x your output. All right. So I know it sounds super basic, but it all boils back down to the discipline of you being able just to do difficult things. All right, but do them consistently over time. This isn't something like diet. When I say diet, I don't mean you just go on an Atkins diet or you go vegan for 6 weeks. I mean, you build this, you reprogram your mind and your lifestyle. So this is something you do. It's not optional. All right. I train in the gym every single day, 6 o'clock. All right. It's just who I am. All right. It's not something I choose to do. It's just like, I'm not going to choose to not have breakfast today. Yeah, I'm not going to choose to not breathe today. Yeah, it's just who I am. It's programmatic. Okay, and if you can do that, trust me, if you're looking for the 80-20, if you're looking for the small amount of things that have the biggest output, getting these dialed in will literally 10x every single part of your life. All right, just trust me on it. It does link up to the money side of things. Cool. All right. Next one on discipline is, I could literally do a whole video on this, to be fair. Like, there's so much to go into it. Next thing is just setting up your environment so that you have the space to actually do the work. Okay. So this means being distraction free, right? You're not kind of, think about it, right? We live in the attention economy. Everything everywhere is trying to pull our attention, and it's trying to pull our attention away from our North Star goal. All right. Because they want you to buy their product, or someone wants you to solve their problem. Okay. And the more you get sucked into it, the further away you get from your goal. And if you want like a very basic heuristic for decision making on your day to day, just like, the gap between the thought or someone asking you to do something and you take an action, there's always the gap. Okay. And just make it binary, right? Really, really basic. Just ask yourself, does this move me? Does taking this action or not taking this action move me further towards or further away from my North Star goal? That's it. That simple question. This will give you the answer. This is the decision that you need to make, and you need to stack these decisions for a long enough period of time in the direction of this North Star goal, and it is almost inevitable that you will start to see progress. Okay? Like, most of this as well, you will find is governed by your time management. And time management, we can't manage time. Time management is actually energy management. Okay, it's attention management, because where attention goes, energy flows and results show. Okay, that's that kind of key basic algorithm of life, if you want. That's going to give you a good sense of, am I moving forward, am I standing still? And it's all, again, a decision. Right? Things don't happen to you. We're entrepreneurs now. Okay, we're not dictated to. We're the ones doing the dictating. We create our own reality. All right, we're not victims of circumstance. We are architects of our future. This is the whole mindset shift, which you're going to go into next. Okay, and remember, when it comes to your time attention management, you need to know what you're optimizing for, because that will dictate exactly what you work on. Okay, and what you work on is far more important than how you do it. All right, because it's very easy to get sucked into, particularly so when you're new to entrepreneurship and you don't have a boss breathing down your neck telling you to do X, Y, and Z, or turn up at a certain time, or go to the bathroom at a certain time, or finish at a certain time. Like, you now become your own boss. Okay, you're in control of your own schedule, so it's up to you to know exactly where to spend your time and what to spend your time doing. Okay, and for a lot of things, you might even not know how to do them. Okay, this is the value of having good people around you, having a mentor, because they can shine a light. But until you have that, it's up to you to kind of forge your way forward. No one's going to tell you what to do. Okay, so focus on what I call your IGTs. Okay, IGTs, I want you to rank in terms of importance, and they are just basically a hierarchy of what are my highest income generating tasks. All right, if you don't know what your high income generating tasks are, or just your generate income generating tasks in general, that is your main job. And the way you kind of move forward in life and business is whatever hinders your task becomes your task. Okay, it's literally as simple as that. Whatever's holding you back from taking the next step, whatever it is, payment provider, customers, bottlenecking, manufacturing, marketing, like there's an infinite amount of things. Whatever you're stuck on, that's your main thing to focus on for that day, okay? And even if you just get that one roadblock unblocked, this is literally going to 10x things, particularly so once you build in the consistency over time, which is what you'll see, a common theme running through all of this. All right, this moves us on to the next one, which is a brain. And the brain is for mindset. Now, I would go so far as to say mindset is 90% of success in business, and 10% is the execution, because the skill set, the mindset will leave you upset, right? You're basically reframing things as problems to solutions, right? Whenever problems come at you, and they will come at you, it's up to you to now switch and focus on, okay, what's the actual solution to this, all right? Remember, things aren't happening to us, we're happening to things, all right? And things go wrong, but it's all about how you reframe this, particularly so when it comes to things going wrong or failure. Yeah, failure is actually the most data-rich information set in the world, if you choose it to be so. Okay, because it might sound like might feel like you've made a wrong decision, or it's cost you a lot of money, but actually that's just the price of tuition, right? You've actually, by knowing what not to do, you actually default now know what to do, right? Now, that in and of itself, that single statement is life-changing, particularly so if you then apply it into business and into life, because you realize there is no failure, okay? You only move forward, you only progress if you allow yourself to reframe things. And this is all about reframing in mindset, is your, whatever it is that you've been programmed, you most of the times you spend most of your adult life, particularly so as you move into entrepreneurship, unlearning all of the things you were taught were true, particularly so if you're coming from a 9 to 5, you're coming from like a matrix upbringing. It's just the way you're wired, and you have to set up almost like a new way of operating, a new lens of viewing the world through it that reframes absolutely everything. Again, it's very easy to say, it's difficult to do, and it's something that you work on every single day. For me, for example, every day is a school day. I'm constantly learning. I'm obsessed with learning how millionaires and billionaires think. This is what kind of allowed me to unlock this status, is to emulate, draw inspiration from, but actually put it into practice. Everything that I learned from guys who are further ahead of me, whether it's monetarily, whether they have, whatever it is, whatever element of life they have that's better than I have currently that I want, this is what I learned from them. And so much of it always links back down to your mindset. See, the other side that I see in the mindset things is people get stuck in the comparison trap. And rather than inspire them, it actually holds them back, because it's always they're brighter, they had a better start, and you end up making like excuses for yourself, and actually demotivate you. And the mindset switch is actually you're only ever competing against and with yourself. It's against you yesterday, not someone else who's level 10 when you're just level 3 or 4, if you want to put it into context, right? It's always you versus you. Yes, you can look at those who are already successful to take inspiration from, but only to distill the learnings that they had at that specific period of time, not the life they have now, okay? Comparison is a thief of joy. It's such a true statement. But yeah, just be aware of that, because sometimes you think you watch, or you immerse yourself in these worlds to be inspired, but actually it works against you. And all it does is it fuels your imposter syndrome. And at the start of any new entrepreneurial pursuit, the imposter syndrome sometimes is crippling. Like, it really, if you give it credence, if you give those thoughts a voice, you literally just won't get out of bed in the morning. That's how powerful they can be, because it's always self-deprecating. I'm not good enough. Others are better than me. I'm not experienced. I'm not intelligent enough. I don't know how to do things, when actually the way to get past this, and Mosey has a great phrase where it's out to outwork your self-doubt, and it's just to do the work anyway, irrespective, again, what we said at the start, of how you feel. You detach your actions from your feelings and you just identify as someone who does the work. That's the key. You're never going to get rid of the imposter syndrome, no matter how high up. There's always going to be something that you haven't done that you need to do, that you don't feel good enough yet to do. And the way to do it is just baby steps, okay? But take action and do not give credence to those thoughts, okay? So mindset, the most important thing. And you'll find the mindset pretty much dictates everything else, because most of these are mind work, right? Yes, there's a physical component of them, but most of these things are first done in the mind. So this is continually investing, continually learning. It never stops. And do not skip this part. Okay, it's the key. It's the key to unlock the life that you want, is getting your mindset in order, on track. All right, so we've boxed off the mindset. Now we're going to look onto this one, a squiggly picture, which stands for systems. So you're probably thinking, Lou, why are we talking about systems? What systems got to do with becoming a millionaire or multi-millionaire? Very simple. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And you need, as an entrepreneur, to have systems in place and ways of being or ways of doing things that become automatic, whether they're habits, whether these are kind of specific actual systems, virtual systems that you employ, digital infrastructure that do the work for you. This links very closely to our point of leverage point over here, but basically this links very much back into the discipline side of things, where the way you do, I don't know, even if it's the way you focus, you literally do one thing at a time, right? You're not multitasking, you haven't got 50 million tabs open, you literally focus on one thing. And this is all systems thinking. It's all boils back down to first principles thinking, okay? And this can bleed in across life and business. So even if it is focus on the lifestyle side of things, your environment, the way you make progress, it's just 1%, it's one thing at a time, one product, one solution, one system, yeah? You have no distractions around you. From a systems, like a physical or virtual systems in place, you have SOPs, standard operating procedures, ways of being, ways of doing. And what this is doing is it's freeing up your bandwidth to focus on the things that actually do matter, which 9 times out of 10 are linked to the money-making side of things. If you have to, it's that basic heuristic again of where attention goes, energy flows, and results short flow overall, okay? If you have to disperse attention into things that are low value IGTs, which take up your time, which are not moving you further towards that goal, then by default, it's actually moving you away from it, okay? So just setting up your environments, or just basic things like your distraction-free, your SOPs, everyone knows, your staff know, you know, this is the way you do things. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to divert any attention to it. It's just the way things are done. This is what frees up your bandwidth and your time and your attention, and therefore your energy to focus on the things that matter, okay? This can bleed into personal life as well. So you can even systemize the type of people that you spend time with, okay? Because your friends will either drag you up, okay? They'll be a further ahead of you, and guys, they're going to inspire, motivate you, or like most friends, they will drag you down, they will keep you small, right? This too, believe it or not, is a decision, and it's sometimes a tough decision for new entrepreneurs to make, because they're in that weird space of like they're trying to escape their old ways of being and their friends, because they don't want to get the same results as them. They don't want to live the same life as them, but they're not quite big enough, or they're not quite successful enough to be in the rooms where there's guys who are 10, 20 times ahead of them, okay? So it's weird, but it's a transition, but it's, again, a choice, all right? It's the way you do things, right? It's your ways of being, and these need to change, you need to constantly evolve, all right? And all you're doing is trying to reprogram your mindset to level up, all right? You're freeing up bandwidth to work or allow you to work on the things that matter and move you forward, yeah? And you're constantly upgrading your mindset so that you're becoming someone worthy of success, okay? Because let's be honest, if you really be honest, like right now, you're probably not where you need to be, right? And that is just a total result of all of your past decisions, okay? It's time for you to level up, it's time for you to upgrade. And to do that, you upgrade everything about your life, okay? Cool. Next one, the big one, the dollar sign. Okay, so once you start making money, which you will make money if you can figure out how to open the pen, you need to learn how money works. You need to understand the flow of money. let's be honest, when I first started out in business, I didn't have a clue about how money works. I didn't know how to make money. The only thing I knew was how to sell my time to make money. That was it. That's the only thing I knew what to do. I didn't know not anything about systems thinking. I didn't know anything about being able to divorce my income from my time. I knew none of that. Okay. The only thing I was constantly programmed with is you work 9 to 5, you're with 10, 20 bucks an hour, you get a salary, tax is taken out of that, brilliant, you live on the rest, okay? You can never become a multimillionaire by selling your time for money. Why? Because you can't make more time. Time is our most valuable non-renewable resource, and you need to be able to leverage systems and automation. You need to be able to divorce that income from your time so that things aren't reliant on you. And then when you make the money, you need to understand how to, I suppose it's make, manage, and multiply, all right? If you've got the make money side because you've got all of these in order. Now it's about how do you manage it, okay? And that's just like a basic principle of you're not upgrading your lifestyle. You're not just spunking up the wall. You're not buying a Lambo, okay? You need to understand how to spend your money, okay? Remember, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. And you see so much online, especially even in the e-com space, on the info space, everyone's always shown revenue and really no one cares. It only matters is how much is actually in the bank at the end of the day, at the end of the month, or when your company's exited, okay? Because that's the good thing about businesses is they actually build equity over time, which you can then exit for life-changing sums of money, but it takes a lot of time. But anyway, you still need to understand how money works, okay? No one teaches you this. No one. No, like, who taught you anything about money in school? I'm guessing nothing. Parents don't know anything about money, okay? So it's up to you to invest in yourself to understand cash flow, read accounting. As boring as it sounds, you can never make sound financial decisions unless you understand how money flows, okay? Understand currency, but I think it's like basic core fundamental principles. Very, very difficult again for you to be able to get your head around how to make, manage, and multiply if you don't understand the basic principles of cash flow, okay? Because think about it, that's all you're trying to do with business is you're trying to arbitrage, whether it's time, services, or physical products. You're buying it for 10, you're selling it for 20, okay? Yes, you need to understand that's the very high level, but you'll find everything and everyone wants a cut and slice of the pie. You need to understand how that works, understand taxes, understand cash flow, cost of goods sold, operational overheads. So much of it comes into this, and this is where so many entrepreneurs put so much time, effort, energy, resource into getting into building a business, and it's never profitable. And all of this is kind of for nothing. So you must spend time to understand, even if it's just spending an afternoon figuring out how to read a balance sheet or a basic profit and loss statement from a company. Yeah, boring as it sounds, such a high leverage skill set, because then you now understand what to look for in your own business. Okay, for me, I couldn't afford an accountant at the beginning, so I literally bought 3 books, 3 fat boring accounting books, and I taught myself the basics, and that allowed me to get by to a certain scale. But I would still then like I would do all of the daily, monthly reconciliation myself, but then for the important stuff, I was able to make enough money to pay the accountant, because that's the important stuff, okay, the reporting. But still, I need to understand how cash moves within my business, and then when you have it, you need to know how to deploy it efficiently so that it's not taken away from you, whether that's in tax or you're just not mismanaging it and spending on things that don't matter, okay? So yeah, don't want to spend too much time on this, but this again is an incredibly important skill set if you want to become a multimillionaire. And finally, the most important word in business is what? Cash, yes, but this time leverage, all right? Leverage is everything. What are you leveraging? You're leveraging systems, automation, time, people, the internet, money, AI. There's so many different things that you need to be able to leverage, because what you're doing is you're divorcing your income from your time. This is how you build the systems that allow you to live anywhere, okay? This is how you allow the systems that will make you money at 4 in the morning or 12 in the afternoon whilst you're on the beach somewhere, okay? Or on holiday, or on a jet, it doesn't matter. Cannot be selling time for money as a multimillionaire. Why? Because we've discussed it already. We all have the same amount of hours in the day, okay? You need to be able to understand how automation works, how systems work, but you build those systems, okay? And these systems in an ideal world run autonomously without your input, without your time, without your attention, which means you need to first build them, but you build them with that purpose in mind, okay? Again, it sounds so simple, just leverage as a word, but leverage is everything in business, okay? It's how you get ahead. You don't want to be working 24/7. You don't want to be stuck, trapped in your business. Again, I'm talking about this from personal experience. I was also like that. It's no fun. It doesn't matter how much money, how many zeros you've got in your business bank account or personal bank account. It makes no difference if you feel trapped, okay, if you can't have the ability to choose. Because boil it down again to first principles, what most people get into business for, yes, for money, but actually the real reason is freedom. Time, location, financial freedom. And if you're stuck in your business because you do not have leverage, that is not a business, okay? That's like one of the worst places you could be, arguably as bad as being a brokie, although you probably have a lot more experience. And you can, if you're clever, if you have good people around you, you can work your way through it, okay? And you can actually remodel and kind of rebuild the business up again so that you can be no part of it and you can kind of work on it instead of in it. That's the key, okay? Now, each one of these points, full talking point, okay? I can do a video, maybe 2 videos, maybe 3 on each point, okay? But this is kind of the overall overarching systems that allowed me to become a multimillionaire. And everything in here, believe it or not, is learnable. All right, I've learned everything, most of this stuff on my own. Okay, the final point is when you employ and you work with a mentor. This is like a key point of leverage for you. Okay, if you're just getting started, you don't have to make the same mistakes I made. Okay, you can literally learn from someone who's 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Okay, and if you want to learn from me, click the link below. We'll jump on a call. We're going to assess your business. We'll literally get super clear on your current and desired situation. We'll reverse manufacture pretty much everything so that we can get you to multi-millionaire status as quickly as possible. Allow it.